justice and mercy is extremely important because it's important to God. Christ didn't just die for like disembodied souls. He died for the life of the world, for all of our existence in the world. So we have to have a theology of ministry that sees not just the spiritual or the souls, but also our entire embodied existence, which has to do with social structures and injustice and oppression. And I think we see from the biblical witness that God cares about the suffering of the poor, and participation in the kingdom of God is participation in a ministry and a proclamation in a kingdom that has to do with our embodied existence as well as our souls. So I think in order to have a holistic view of ministry and an interpretation of the Bible that's holistic as well, we have to think about justice and mercy and how those relate to our entire embodied existence. Well, we primarily serve the immigrant communities in the Rio Grande Valley, but we also just serve the community at large. Like our sort of philosophy is that we're a kingdom ministry that's located on the border, so we're not solely focused on the immigration issues or immigration crisis, because there's also just a lot of poverty there too. So whoever is on the border in need, we're trying to serve them, and of course that has a lot to do with immigrants. So that kind of tends to be our main focus because of where we are. So we try to just proclaim the kingdom and be involved in them in their lives in any ways that we can. So that's often teaching ESL. We have a free health clinic for people. We're often trying to do needs in terms of relief. There's a tremendous amount of immigrants who are seeking asylum that are trapped in Mexico, and we do a lot trying to relieve some of what's happening there. So it just has to do with the situation, because the situation changes so much in the border, but we're always trying to be present and to offer either pastoral care or else physical relief to the needs that are present. Well, what inspires me is, I think, the opportunity to be involved with people who are coming from all around the world, really. I mean, it's been incredible to meet so many people who are coming from countries from Asia to Africa to Latin America, and to be able to be involved in their lives. So really it is that sort of multi-track focus of trying to be pastorally and spiritually caring for people's needs, but also being involved in their material needs as well. So yeah, just the opportunity to sort of do normal pastoral work, but also kind of get my hands dirty a little bit and be involved in the needs of the poor, and specifically those who are around the world. It's an incredible opportunity. I think the hardest part is it's often like we can be involved and we can help people pastorally, but so much of it you can feel kind of powerless because there are these huge sort of systems and huge social movements of people trying to migrate all the way here from all these different countries, and you can feel kind of powerless. I can help some people, I can help in some ways, but so much of it is just beyond our ability to sort of fix the world, I guess. So there's sort of a cry in my heart. I want to fix all these problems, but I just can't sometimes. So. Yeah, I think that a lot of it has to do with seeing Christ in people. Because oftentimes in these sorts of work you can become tired, you can become burned out, but sort of prayerfully taking the time to intentionally see Christ in others who are coming to us, whether they're coming to like a free clinic or whether they're immigrants. Just that the opportunity to be able to witness Christ in the needs of the poor is, I think, where I see that. Yeah, so like I was saying, there are these large encampments that are in Mexico because so many people have come from different parts of the world trying to seek asylum. And for several months, I was walking across the border and going to these encampments and sort of meeting with the same guy who was kind of like my point guy, and he was telling me where the needs were in the camp, and I was trying to help out. But oftentimes I felt like, I was, man, am I really making a difference? Because I can pray with this guy, I can bring him some of the things to make his life more easy, but how much am I actually helping people? But eventually he did manage to get into the U.S., and for months afterwards he was messaging me, just talking to me about how much just being there and caring for him had meant to him. So that to me was really just such a hopeful thing, because I realized that even when it's difficult to see what difference we're making in the world. Just being willing to be present with people and willing to try to care for them, and just being there can actually make a huge difference in someone's life, and really means a lot to the people who are there. So yeah, that was hopeful for me in terms of ministry, because even when we don't necessarily know what the final long-term impact of what we're doing is, it can mean a lot to people and can mean a lot to them for a long time. Yeah, I think probably just being in sort of contact with us, because the situation on the border, it changes so much, and oftentimes there's just sort of kind of like fluctuating needs. So what we need at different times is sort of different in other times. So yeah, I think being in communication, so where if there's sometimes there's like a sudden need that pops up, and we'll need churches to send various things. So just sort of staying in our orbit, I think, can be helpful. Or people coming down and wanting to help out too. Like we have Father Michael, who's our director, just started up a position of auxiliary staff for people who can't come down full time, but can maybe come down a couple times of the year. And so yeah, anyone that wants to come down and help out, or if you're a church that can stay in contact with us so that you can hear about what the needs are, then I think those are great ways to help support our work.